Good morning. My name is Arjun Jogimahanti. I'm a senior here at Oakridge. And today I wanted to talk to you about something that many of you don't know about me, which was that I've had to suffer through blindness basically all my life. No, I'm not talking about the blindness you see on your left dealing with the eye, but I'm talking about blindly following my religion. So, for nearly 18 years, I have practiced Hinduism, but I questioned the practice because the things that I practiced, I believed in, they seemed purposeless. They didn't really manifest themselves in everyday life. But my life events have led me to strongly reconnect with my religion, because it turns out that I failed to see that sign on the right. I didn't see that even though that there are certain things that you learn by other people telling you, or you learn through your own life experience, and I didn't learn through other people telling me, and so I had to go through some things like that. So there are three seemingly pointless rules that I wanted to share with you that I thought were kind of weird at first. First thing is, I'm not supposed to sneeze when I leave a place. When I'm at an airport or about to leave my house, I'm not supposed to sneeze. Second thing is, I'm not supposed to have a haircut on Tuesdays. And the third thing is, I'm not supposed to cut my fingernails at night. It doesn't matter whether I'm inside the house or anything. I can't cut my fingernails at night. So I thought these things were like, what? They don't make any sense. But I've had many occurrences over my life, and I'll share with you two. The first time is when I was returning home from London. I sneezed right when I got into the airport. You know, the day I was supposed to get back, I was supposed to get back in the morning. That was my best friend's birthday, and my flight got canceled as soon as we walked in. We saw on the monitors, canceled. And I missed my friend's birthday. Second example, I've only broken a bone in my body once. But in the 5th grade, it was around 9:45 at night, I cut my fingernails. And you know what happened the next day? I broke my pinky bone while playing tag. That's right, the game of tag, of all the things. So I was like, man, this really did happen. I mean, these things really, they do tell you these things because things like this do happen. So I mean, it's really hard to believe, but I've really strongly reconnected with my faith because of it. So I wanted to talk to you about Hinduism in general. Hinduism is it's a unique religion because it's kind of an umbrella on top of so many unique and different people. Because first of all, a lot of people consider themselves polytheistic, and a lot of Hindus consider themselves monotheistic. I consider myself monotheistic, while my parents consider themselves polytheistic, yet we go to the same temple, we worship the same gods, we read the same religious scriptures. This, for example, the goddess on the right, her name is Lakshmi. She is the goddess of financial prosperity. And the god on the left, his name is Lord Vishnu. He is supposedly kind of like the central god, in which monotheists believe that all the other gods are basically reincarnations of him, while polytheists believe that each one is a separate entity. But regardless, say if you're in a financial pickle, most Hindus would pray to Lakshmi to get some good luck and get out of the financial mess that they're in. So everyone acknowledges that there are different forms. It's just that monotheists believe that Lakshmi is just another form of Vishnu. And that's what makes Hinduism very unique. So with Hinduism came the birth of the language Sanskrit, which historians estimate it was any time between 1200 and 600 before Common Era. I'd say most historians believe that Latin and Sanskrit are the two foundation languages for all the languages we have. And English, Spanish, French, Hindi, they've all have been majorly influenced by Sanskrit or Latin. And just to give you an example, for those people who speak Spanish, how do you say you in Spanish? It's tú. In Hindi, it's the same exact thing, tú. How does that connection work? Because Sanskrit and Latin both fed into all these different languages. And since the 7th grade, I've learned Sanskrit, and I have to say it's one of the most beautiful languages that exists on the planet. We learn most Sanskrit. All of the religious scriptures we have are written in Sanskrit, and it's just like how there are different gods and goddesses, there are also different scriptures for each one. And it's kind of if you recite one, it's impactful, but if you recite all of them, they kind of lead you to a well-balanced life. And because some are fast-paced tongue twisters that are designed to instill concentration in you, while others are slow-moving pieces that are designed to invoke calmness. So I'll give you an example of what Sanskrit sounds like. I'm going to recite. So, Om Shuklam Varadaram Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vignur Upashante. That's what Sanskrit sounds like. And initially it was completely oral language, but it was just about 10 before Common Era, they started to write it down. And the font that you see here is called Devanagari, which is recognized by the horizontal lines that run on top of it, because that's how you connect all of the words in Sanskrit, and that's how Hindi even got its same way. So our version of the Bible is called Bhagavad Gita. It is basically a conversation between Lord Krishna, who is a reincarnation of a human manifestation of Lord Vishnu, and Prince Arjuna, yes, whom I'm named after. He and 5 other brothers are supposed to defeat about 100 of his relatives for the right for a kingdom. And the moral of this story is to every Hindu to show that God, the power of God, is the ultimate, because Krishna is on the side of Arjuna, and this whole story is Arjuna talking about his belief in Krishna, and those 6 brothers end up defeating all 100 of their relatives for the right to have their kingdom back. And this Bhagavad Gita gives hope and inspiration for every Hindu. So these are some examples of famous temples that are around the world. I just showed you 2 from India. One's called the Lotus Temple, which is in New Delhi, and then the other one's called the Aksharam Temple, which is also in New Delhi. But some of the temples range from as grandiose as being made of 24 karat gold, and some are as not decorated as being in a strip mall. I've seen temples here in the U.S. that are in strip malls. So that's how temples are very eclectic in their nature, but most of them, they look something like this inside. They're always heavily decorated inside, and they always either in a square or in a circular shape. They always put the different gods and goddesses, and you go around typically and you pray to each one. Okay, and then one of the biggest beliefs of every Hindu is reincarnation. That how we are born today is based on our deeds from our past life. There are 3 different things that determine what we are today. They're the karma, vikarma, and akarma. Karma is your good deeds, vikarma is your bad deeds, and akarma is your inaction. So basically all 3 of those combined will determine what kind of life you're going to live in your present life. And most of you, people who know me, know that I'm a big fan of the New York Yankees, and their present owners, Hal and Hank Steinbrenner, they inherited $3 billion worth of assets when their father, George Steinbrenner, died. But how is it that they got that while somebody else didn't, when all they did to inherit that much of money or that valuable of a sports franchise because they were born, they just happened to be born, it's because they did something probably exceptional in their past life to deserve rewards of this nature in this life. And in India and in Hinduism in general, there's something called the caste system, in which even as, like, you can be born into different life forms. You can be born into an animal, you can be born into a plant, and if you're born into a human, you are born into one of these 5 categories. And as you progress, as you die off, you will be born into if you do what you're supposed to do, you will be born into your next, you keep going up until you get to the Brahmin level. And then if you don't abuse your power, because Brahmins have the most power in India and anywhere, they have the best opportunities available to them. And if you don't abuse your power, that's how your soul gets liberated and you go to heaven. So, in conclusion, my life, I have been comfortable knowing that I may not know everything in my life, and that Hinduism has taught me discipline, and that life is just a journey to find the meaning of everything. And we may not know that now, but eventually we will. Thank you.